Yo guys, as per your quest, this is the Meli guide. Now I will say before we start, my Meli build is not perfect. I'm aware of it. But I do know how I want to fix it and how I want to correct it. So I will be showcasing that this video. Um, this is just gonna be like, what gear should you get for melee? What I think, in my opinion, best weapon choice for farming, doing bosses, or anything else you wanna do. Um, his gear, his ideal gear, stats, and a bit more into the realistic side as well. So yeah, now my melee is you can see 10 out of 10, almost 20,000 attack. Um, Fully maxed out on his mastery. Um, and yeah, so in terms of weapons, by far the best bossing weapon is obviously going to be his craftable weapon, which if you don't know, you can craft right here, this weapon. Um, it is limited time, so be sure if you hadn't already to craft it as fast as you can before the banner goes away. Um, I think we have like a week or two before Daisy supposedly drops, so you've got a bit of time, but I'd suggest grabbing the weapon as fast as you can so that you have his destined slot. Um, in terms of its um, enchants, uh, what I have is okay. It's decent. It's nothing too crazy. I mean, it's pretty good, but again, nothing too crazy. Ideally, what you would have here is crit damage, crit chance, normal skill damage instead of attack damage. I'm pretty sure it can roll. And then darkness damage, which is his strongest buff by far. Um, but obviously, if you get shitty rolls with a one good roll, then obviously don't take it if you have decent rolls. That's what's been happening to me because the game hates it, but eventually I get it. Um, Limit break, I would say don't worry too much about limit breaks right now. Not until the Netmarble gives us either more ways to get these mats, more consistent ways, or more keys to farm more SSR weapons to then disenchant or salvage to get these mats, but I would say don't worry about it. If you have it, it's really not that important. The important thing is that you have the weapons passive. Right now, obviously, as you go further on tier 3, you get more buffs, and you get a new passive, but honestly, the passive isn't that important. Like, you're gonna do fine without it, right? So again, don't stress about it too much. In terms of the equipment, I'm pretty sure the engraving bonus and the stats are set, so it can change into like more damage or something like that. But the stats do change. Now, I got a pretty bad engravement. It like the engravement bonus is okay, but the endless drive level, the passive level, is level 1, which you don't want. You want it to be level 3. But so that is something I'm gonna have to work on. But uh, you know, this is a general tip. Never reroll engravements until you've got your full main team um, engraved, so that at least you have the passives going. So like, for example, for me, I'm missing a lanes engravement. I'm gonna get it tomorrow. So once I get that, I'm gonna try to reroll Meli's engravement and try to get that rolling. But yeah, you want to aim for a level 3 endless drive. This is the most important part because it goes from 25% to 40%, which is a big buff. That's an extra 15% damage to your normal skill, which is already insane. Um, yeah, so that's the engravement. Now, in terms of his accessories, so I've seen a lot of people use spider set. In my opinion, his best in slot would probably be the Edge of the Void set, which is this one, because it's a two-piece that gives you 5% defense shatter and um okay-ish stats. I'm necklace, but it's fine. Um, and for some reason, I don't know why it says it's a set. It's a three-piece set, but the ring doesn't exist yet. So I don't know what's up with that. That marbles, someone there needs to check it out. But yeah, so um, two pieces of Edge of the Void to get the defense shatter, and then honestly, this ring is pretty good. Um, Using the ultimate move continuously consumes 100 from the magic gauge. Every magic gauge is your swap tag gauge, if I'm not mistaken. Um, every 1 second for 8 seconds and inflicts fire damage equal to 175% of attack by enemies. Uh, the area burns for 8 seconds, inflicting burn 7 seconds, and fire damage equal to 6% of attack per second on enemies in range. Now, pretty good. Dot efficiency is a pretty good roll considering the passive. Obviously, I would have liked to get a level 3. Actually, do I have a level 3? No. Which I assume would go up to 200%, but again, I'm not stressed about that. So in my opinion, the Edge of the Void set, get that defense shatter plus this ring, give you that extra damage. Pretty good. Um, Now, in terms of mastery importance, um, this is something that um, a lot of people before me have said, and a lot of people after me will say. But if you are starting, please, I mean, I don't know why I'm begging you, but like, um, it would help you a lot to get this bundle. It's like €1 something. And you can choose to get the Black Flame Wings dual swords, which are very good for melee, and will carry you throughout the early game. So I would say in the early game, work on the dual sword mastery up to like the third mastery point. Then, because at that point you're gonna be at about near the end game, should be reaching the end of the story, at least for now. Um, then you can start working on his longsword. And then, um, last but not least, the X. Now, um, does that mean dual swords are better than X, or X is better than swords, or whatever? No. Um, every weapon type is good. You just need to learn how to use the weapon type, and obviously you need to know, um, you need to have a decent team, or at least a team you're comfortable with doing the rotations. Um, so yeah. Now, in terms of what I think are his best weapons, so for bossing, obviously, longsword, that's his special weapon. It gives you his special effect. Um, each normal skill use increases darkness damage up to a maximum of 31.5. So 3 times you use the skill, which is about the amount of time you would use it before the darkness gauge runs out. Because if you don't know, it consumes the darkness um, gauge. um, it decreases darkness burst duration by 2 seconds and inflicts additional damage equals to 200% of attack when landing the normal skill on an enemy with a darkness burst. So it drains the burst to do more damage. Um, and obviously we want more damage. Um, so that's fucking phenomenal. Um, and then in terms of mobbing, recently X has become pretty good. So if you didn't know, there's this farm right here, the bunny farm. You can look guides for it. It's a pretty known farm at this point. Um, X clears it very fast, very consistently. Now, personally, I haven't tried it yet because I'm working on other stuff and I'm not too stressed about it. As I always say, spider inflation is real. If you're a pay-to-win player, Spider's Nest is the best way to get materials. You do the 3 mini-bosses, then you dip. You don't have to kill the Spider Queen. You just do the 3 mini-bosses, 15 keys. You get a huge amount of gold and materials. The Golem Secret Boss can drop platinum, which is phenomenal. So yeah, if you're a pay-to-win player who buys keys, I highly recommend spending them on Spider if you don't have anything else to do, or if you're struggling for materials, gold, whatever it may be. Um, do it, do it, do it. Now, if you're a free-to-play player, the second best farming um, place, or at least two, are the bunnies and the bandits here. Again, not gonna go into too much details about it. Just look it up. X is phenomenal for days. Clears them very consistently, very fast. You do need to know your positioning because it can be a bit iffy with the X, but it's very, very good. And in terms of the longsword or the dual swords, unfortunately, they are, in my opinion, his worst weapon once you get to the end game. Um, that doesn't mean you can't make it work. As I said, all weapons on Meli are good. His damage is extremely good, regardless of which weapon you choose. I really want to emphasize that. So don't feel bad if you've invested on dual swords and then, like, a couple days later, realize that you like X better, right? And you don't even want to play with longsword because it's too risky or something. I don't know. It's fine. You can use any weapon you want, but For the most part, the dual swords are his worst weapon type for endgame. Now, for early game, they are his best weapon type, which is why I highly recommend, as I've said before, to buy this pack. €1, you get an SSR weapon, his dual swords. Slam it on him. You're gonna do absolutely fine, no matter which team you run. Which we'll get to his teams in a moment. Don't worry. Um, Now, if you want to know why they're so good early game, it's mainly because of this. You get a lot of sustain from his ability, from his. Oh, wait. Um, yeah, okay. You get a lot of sustain from this ability, and it does a lot of damage as well. Especially this one. And I believe this doesn't. Yeah, this doesn't reduce the cooldown, so it's like you do the Q, you do the E, get your heal when you need it, and then you finish with the burst, which does a lot of damage after you up Hellfire, and it does a lot of damage, um, at least for the early game. Now, the thing I'm sure most of you are curious about: what teams do I run with Meli? Now, the pay to win team, or like the best team, in my opinion, is this team: Meli, Manny, Jericho, and Elaine. Don't worry about this. I'm gonna get her the SSR staff tomorrow, as well as her engravement, so don't worry about it. But uh, okay, I'm gonna put some parentheses here. The core team is Meli, Manny, and Jericho. Right? Elaine, you can swap. Personally, I really like her. If you have her, I think she's the best fourth slot for Meli. Now, the reason this team is so good is, first of all, Jericho is the best, um, or I would say, yeah, the best partner for Meli for building up burst gauge. She builds it very fast, very quick with the dual swords, which is also another reason you should get the pack with the dual swords, because then you can transfer Ellie's dual swords to Jericho. So it's a win-win. Um, Now, if you don't know what Jericho does, if you don't have her, um, where is it? Here, this. She gains Frozen Saber, and when she uses a normal attack, she teleports behind the hero, or behind the enemy, and does more damage and increases their burst gauge by 20. That is phenomenal. That is insane, especially when you have her engravement, which again, low roll, but I will fix it once I do. Um, each attack, each back attack further increases the burst gauge by another 20, and that's the lowest roll. I'm not sure what the highest roll is. Again, I really low rolled this one, um, but very good, very strong. She's phenomenal. And then Manny, obviously using the staff. Um, this ability, this ability right here. Um, she gives allies Draco Priestess, which increases crit damage by 30%. That is insane. And she also has this one, which increases the ultimate gauge when an ally uh, hits an enemy afflicted with punishment, and then she gives all allies 30% more damage when they use the ultimate move. And she also has a it oops here. She has a oh she has a combined attack with melee, so if you want to do that, you can. It resets the burst gauge, and then you can go more ham. Um, but usually you won't that because everything will be dead by the time you do the burst. So yeah, she gives so many buffs, so many damage buffs to melee. It's insane. And then the reason I think Staff Elaine specifically is the best fourth slot is because oh, oh yeah, is because of this skill right here. Increases all elemental burst efficiency of allies for special attack. That is very good. That is a very strong buff. Um, so how I usually do the rotations is Jericho, get their burst gauge, then I would go to Manny, get the crit gauge, or get the crit buff, Elaine, get the gauge buff, the burst buff, and then switch into melee. Um, and then just do a lot of damage. Now, with Elaine, another reason she's so good is if you're not comfortable with your survivability, you also have the Grimoire. Now, the Grimoire gives you shields and more damage. Now, granted, this is more earth damage, but um, you still do more damage, or at least take less damage. Um, it's nice survivability. Um, nice support here with the tag age restoration. Um, yes, Elaine is just a very solid fourth pick. Now, in terms of other teams, let's say you're missing Jericho, you're missing Manny, you're missing Unit X, what do you choose? So another, like the free to play team people usually run is Meli, Gila, Tristan, and Slater, or Bug. Um, Now, me personally, I don't like Bog's version. Like, yes, it also does a lot of damage, but it doesn't do as much damage as you would normally. Um, so I personally I wouldn't recommend Bog, who is also a nice substitute to Elaine. Wanna go for that build? Um, Now, Diane, if you don't have Jericho, is also very good. She builds up the um, burst gauge very quickly with her gauntlets. Uh, so she's very solid. She also gives you shields. She gives survivability. Very solid. Um, and another team version is Meli, Tristan, Tiore, and um, Gila or Slater, either one is fine. Um, yeah, honestly, in my opinion, you can't really go wrong with Meli. um, he's just extremely overpowered. He's very strong. Once you get to the late game and you get like your build going for Meli, the other units don't really matter as much. What matters the most with Melee is, can you build the burst gauge fast and how fast? Um, because Darkness Burst, if you don't know how it works, it applies over other bursts. So for example, with Jericho, once you fill up the cold burst gauge, you would swap into Meli. That activates his Darkness gauge, that gets his damage rolling. Now, I'm sure you've seen my videos before, but in case you haven't, I just want to show you how strong Meli is. We're not gonna do a dungeon, we're gonna do like a quick dragon run. Excuse me. Just so you get an idea of how strong this team is. Gonna land. It's gonna fill up the first gauge with Jericho. Q, Q, E, 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 ult. That's his first phase. Now again, if I had better rolls, obviously, I would have done a lot more damage. It is possible to one phase him, but you know, gonna need to grind some more gear and stuff. But keep in mind again, this is hell. This is hell difficulty dragon, and so far we haven't really struggled. Uh, this move, yeah. And you're wasting my buffs. And oh, I lived. Oh yeah. As you can see, really been a struggle. 2 minutes and 15 or 16 seconds, and it could be faster. So yeah. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask me. I will gladly help you with anything I can, if I can. And yeah, uh, a bit of a long video, but there's a lot to talk about with Meli and how to build him right. Now, obviously, build him as you see fit. Again, as I said, with the weapons, there really is no wrong choice with what you want to go with. Um, a lot of the things I talked about in this video are my opinions and things that I've seen other people do. So I try to mix both of these together and give you like an overall guide on the good, the bad, and the ugly of Meliodas. Um, but this unit is insane, considering this is the first summonable unit, or the first like banner unit. I think Netmarble did a very good job. Um, yeah, thank you guys for watching the video. Hope this helped, and have a good one.